Okay, so this week we're going to look at glaciers. So we're going to look at how they form, the different kinds, the features that they leave behind, and those are going to include erosional features, and they're also going to include depositional features. So we can use those to look at areas that no longer have glaciers and say, hey, there must have been a glacier here because of these deposits and these erosional features. And then we can determine how far glaciers have been in the past. Like, was there one in Flagstaff? You know, it's pretty high. Maybe when it was colder, was there one there? And so we can use those features to identify past glacial events. And so although we try not to do too much terminology, for this there is a lot of features, and so there are some terminology that you'll have to kind of come to grips with, but it shouldn't be too bad. And then, so the video will just cover the PowerPoint. So where is it? Right there. So there's the PowerPoint you can look through, and the video that kind of summarizes that. And then you'll get some additional information through the article and the video. So both of those are going to talk about, how glaciers move, how they grow, how they recede, and some of the basics of glaciers. Just going to give it to you in a couple different ways. Some have animations, some have different diagrams and pictures, but through it all, hopefully you'll understand how glaciers are created, how they move, and the different types and the features that we can use to identify them. For the homework, I'm actually going to have you look at a How the Earth Was Made series. They do a pretty good job of making these videos. This one's about ice ages. So certainly we talk about glaciers. We're going to talk a little bit about ice ages, times when we had a lot more ice on the planet than we do now. And that's happened just about 10,000 years ago. So, it happened, about 2 million years ago, and it kind of happened over and over again. And the last one was about 10,000 years ago. So fairly recent, especially in geologic terms. And so it'll talk about how these big sheets of ice covered a large portion of the planet. And this one's going to focus just on America, so North America here. So it's interesting to see how it's kind of sculpted the landscape and changed some of the features that we can identify today, that they're there because of the glaciers that used to be there. And so you can go through that. That's just answer some questions while you're watching the video, and you can submit that. And for the lab, unfortunately, it's not going to be about glaciers, so these last couple labs aren't really tied into the lecture as well. When we get down to water and stuff, they'll be a little closer related. But for this one, you'll just do some Arizona geology. So you did the United States geology. Now we'll focus just on Arizona. So you can go through and kind of look at the different types of geology that exist throughout the state of Arizona. And you know the drill for that. So that's what you'll do for the lab portion. And I think that's it. So if you have any questions or comments, you know what to do. Just make sure you ask.